keenly listening to each and every one of them. And then the promises that were made, if there are any kind of lags, any kind of loopholes, all those will be looked at.
All right, and if I may add a fourth one over there, since this is a report card of sorts, you know what follows a report card? It's the scoring, and it is, you know, moving on to the next phase. So perhaps a cabinet reshuffle also, which might be on the cards right after. But stay on with us, Aishwarya. I'll come back to you on that point. But let's just, you know, take our viewers through what exactly is happening and why so much of hype has been created over this one meet. Now, cabinet meets on a regular basis, right? Why is this one so important? Understand that. Now, after wrapping up a high-profile five-nation diplomatic outreach, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now back, turning his attention to a crisis that has not just India but the entire world on the edge. The conflict in West Asia that refuses to be resolved, and with it, the growing economic fallout. Now, in a short while from now, Prime Minister will chair the crucial Council of Ministers meeting, a high-stakes huddle that is expected to go far beyond the routine governance review. The significance of the meeting is hard to miss. This is the first full Council of Ministers meeting in nearly 11 months, remember, with all union ministers asked to remain in Delhi for this one. Sources are telling us that the session could last up to 5 hours, underlining the seriousness of the agenda before the government. Politically too, the timing is impeccable. June 9th marks 2 years of Modi 3.0 government and 12 years of the Modi era at the centre as well. Ministries have been asked to present detailed report cards on reforms carried out over the past 2 years and also outline future action plans. The Prime Minister is also expected to provide a broad guideline or a guidance of sort on the government's next phase of governance and reforms. And inevitably, the meeting is also fueling speculation over a possible cabinet reshuffle, with the performance reviews expected to be a major focus area. But remember, overshadowing everything else is the crisis that's unfolding in West Asia. The war has already triggered economic tremors across the globe. India too is feeling the pinch now. Remember, petrol and diesel prices have gone up by nearly 4 rupees in just 5 days. CNG prices have been hiked twice in the recent weeks. Milk prices are rising. Kitchen essentials are becoming more expensive. Gold and silver prices have surged sharply. And with the conflict showing no signs of easing out, there are growing fears that the economic pain could deepen further in the days ahead. So having understood that, let me go back to Aishwarya. So Aishwarya, there is a political significance, there is a global and economic significance, there is also one of within the government, the report card significance, let's call it that, right? Let's see who gets what. But if you were to highlight perhaps one of the key things that you think will draw attention at the moment, it would be price rise, right? Because look at the retail inflation at the moment. It took us a while. Understandably, the elections that sort of gave us a buffer of sorts to not let it percolate down, but it is percolating down, and many experts on this very program go on to say that the 4 rupee price hike that you've seen is just the tip of the iceberg. It could just be going up, and by the end of the year, we could be looking at petrol and diesel prices at least 20 rupees up on the whole.
Well, that is the rumor, Sonal. You know, that's what we have been hearing, that what we are seeing is a stagnated increase. 3 rupees first, then 1.5, and now we could also see the price rise happening gradually. The government obviously, you know, will be very keenly looking at, because this is exactly what they used to speak way back in 2014 when the UPA was in power. Inflation became the rallying point, and the Bharatiya Janta Party and its allies, the ones who were in the opposition then, used to point fingers and say that it is inflation which is killing the common man. So this is something that the government has been very keenly looking at, and over the past 12 years, they have managed to make sure that the retail inflation remains below what it was way back in 2014. But yes, when you see the fuel prices increase, it has a domino impact, because A, your transportation becomes cheaper, expensive. When it becomes expensive, the other things also by default become expensive. The first things to become expensive are the fruits and the vegetables, because they are the ones that are transported almost on a daily basis. So those are the things that the government will now be very keenly looking at, and which are the ministries which can actually be at the forefront and protect the Indian economy, protect the common man from that rising inflation. That is something that will be very keenly looked at. The government obviously has the larger goal also. We have often heard the top ministers of the BJP, Sonal, speak about the grand plan of making India a developed nation by 2047. All these things have now become huge roadblocks. How will these be looked at? This is something that will be discussed, and definitely a roadmap will come out from this meeting. What the government will do, the kind of policies they will come out with, the kind of schemes that they will come out with for the next 1 year is also something that will be discussed. The other thing, Sonal, that will be looked at, the kind of subsidies that the government has been giving out. Will they be impacted? If yes, then what needs to be done? And if not, then what needs to be done? Sonal.
Right. So, fair to say then, Aishwarya, there is now a sort of plan of action that the Prime Minister wants to discuss with his cabinet and say, okay, moving forward, this is where we want to be. He's sort of going to roll out his vision, and then it becomes the cabinet's job to sort of bring it to action, right? I also want to understand this from you. Apart from just the price hike, a major issue at the moment in the country is of the NEET re-examination. There is a lot of emphasis and a lot of attention at the moment, the spotlight on Dharmendra Pradhan, somebody under whom 2 paper leaks now have happened. Constantly Gen Z out on the streets. Every day there is a protest, people asking for his sacking. Now, if we know the workings of the Modi government, we know that ministers are not sacked. But every time a cabinet reshuffle happens, they sort of find their way into some other ministry. Are you hearing similar murmurs?
Well, NEET is something, Sonal, that we understand will be very keenly looked at. What exactly happened? That is something that will definitely be discussed. The next challenge in front of the government is the 21st of June. That is the D-Day. That's the day when the re-examination of NEET will happen. They need to make sure that nothing untoward happens this time around. So all the focus will be on the 21st of June and 2 days before that and 3 days after the examination has happened. So we will see all these things being very keenly looked at. Dharmendra Pradhan and his ministry, they will give a detailed response to what exactly happened. Who were the ones who were responsible for this examination leak? That is also something that we will see being a focus in this meeting, and what needs to be done next, not just for the 21st of June. That definitely is something that the government is keenly looking at, but for this to never ever happen again, not just for NEET, but for other examinations also. That is also something that will be explained when the presentation will be given by the Education Ministry.
One more thing comes to mind, Aishwarya, that I want to get your word on. The Prime Minister, right before he left for the tour, did make a speech in which he asked India to spend wise. A lot has been said about it, but if you see impact on ground, apart from the political photo ops, we don't see actual adoption of those policies by the common man. We looked at metro data, ridership has not gone up. We look at pollution levels. It's not like there are less cars on the road, so pollution has eased out. This adoption hasn't really taken place. I don't see any company who has gone work from home, apart from governments, if they have already. Is there a likelihood that Prime Minister could just be reviewing his policy at this point to see if at all it has worked?
Well, one of the things that the government will actually do is to make sure that they come out with ways in which the shielding of the Indian economy can be done. So I'll just take 30 seconds to explain the need for the Prime Minister to come out and to say those things, because he was understanding what exactly was happening. See, if you just look at the data, yes, we have seen price rise happening in our country with regards to petrol and diesel. But if you look at the world over, there also, developed countries also have increased the rate, because this is a situation which is beyond the control of anyone. The stalemate still continues. Globally, the countries were hoping that we could see this war ending. We could see some kind of dialogue taking place between the US and Iran, but unfortunately that is not happening. The Strait of Hormuz, the conditions still prevail. There is still a big stalemate. So the world does not know how to react to it. So what the Prime Minister said was that he himself came at the forefront and requested the people that you need to be cautious. The word austerity is not something that the government made. What the government said is that you just need to look at what exactly you are doing, because our companies on a daily basis are incurring a loss of 1,000 crore rupees. So if in any way the people can contribute in minimizing that loss, was the kind of appeal that was made by Prime Minister Modi. Sonal.
All right, Ashwarya, we leave it there for the moment. We are made to understand that the meeting will go on for about 5 hours or so. So good luck tracking all those updates. We'll touch base again once you have some inside details on what exactly happened. All right, moving on now. Cockroaches, they are back. Yes, that is the message now which is flooding social media right now. Just hours ago, in fact, right before we started the program, the X-handle of India's most talked about new age party, the Cockroach Janta Party, was withheld. But just like cockroaches never give up, they too haven't. In a space of a couple of hours, a new page was born saying cockroaches are back. And it has garnered over 20,000 followers already in a matter of a few hours. And how did this revolution really begin in the first place? Well, if you've been living under a rock, let me sort of jog your memory a little bit. Now, 6 days ago, a 30-year-old student sitting in Boston opened a Google form and typed 4 words on it: unemployed, lazy, chronically online. He defined the youth like this and called for a new party, the Cockroach Janta Party. What happened next? Nobody really planned. But to understand why this hit so hard, you need to go back to where the name actually came from. All right, on the 15th of May, Chief Justice of India, Suryakant, was presiding over a hearing on, senior advocate designations. In the middle of the proceeding, he reached out for a word to describe unemployed youth, young Indians who use RTI applications and social media to challenge institutions. The word was cockroach. He also called them parasites of society. The remark was recorded, the clip went viral. CJI, of course, clarified the next day that he was referring only to people who enter professions through fake degrees. Most Indian youths had already heard enough. And within 24 hours, Abhijit Dipke had turned the insult into a party registration form. The idea, he said, was simple. If they are going to call us cockroaches, we become the cockroaches. He cannot squash a movement. You cannot get rid of a cockroach, he said. And within 4 days, look what the cockroaches in India have done. The Cockroach Janta Party has crossed 14 million followers on Instagram. Look at that number, more than BJP, more than Congress. Now, to put this in perspective, look at those numbers. BJP Instagram account, built over years with full machinery of India's ruling party, has about 8.8 million followers. And Cockroach Janta Party has 14.1 last we checked. The number is growing very, very fast. Surprised to see Congress at 13.3, even we were. Nobody made that BJP-Congress comparison before this, but it's an interesting anecdote. Now, what happened this morning? Let's go to that. On X, the OG cockroach, Abhijit, you heard him on the program yesterday as well. We'll play out an excerpt for you now. Abhijit said that the Cockroach Janta Party Twitter account, formerly, the X account now, has been withheld. He said this is in response to a legal demand. Dipke confirmed it himself, posting the screenshot. It's on your screen right now. Writing a simple words, as expected. Now, on Instagram, the account was reportedly suspended twice overnight, but each time it came back, and each time it came back, the followers kept climbing up. Now, the Cockroach Janta Party, or CJP, says it represents what happens when the generation that has been dismissed over NEET scams, dismissed over unemployment numbers, and now openly insulted from the bench of country's highest court, decides to stop asking for a seat at the table and starts building its own. The cockroaches, it turns out, are not going anywhere. And if you had a doubt, take a look.
हाँ मैं हूँ कॉकरोच नीट का पेपर लीक हुआ ब्रो सालों की मेहनत लूट के बोलते सब अंडर कंट्रोल हाँ मैं हूँ कॉकरोच I am a cockroach.
India's newest political party banned in less than a week.
silent mode.
Why? After all, it had already crossed both the BJP and Congress in follow count. And then X did what it often does best, pulled the plug. In a country where unemployed youth are often mocked as lazy, chronically online, or even parasites, a new political outfit has decided to turn satire into a political weapon. It all began with a remark. The Chief Justice of India making a cockroach analogy linked to unemployed youngsters triggered outrage online. A remark which he later said had been misquoted, adding that he was pained by the interpretation. And within hours, the internet responded with what may be India's strangest and sharpest political experiment yet, the Cockroach Janta Party. A meme-powered rebellion now turning outrage into political theatre. Launched on May 16 by Abhijit Dipke, a former Aam Aadmi Party social media volunteer and a public relations student at Boston University. The Cockroach Janta Party proudly calls itself secular, socialist, democratic, lazy. Its mission? To build a platform for young Indians constantly dismissed as jobless, frustrated and chronically online. But behind the humour lies a deeper political frustration, being name-called. In just 3 days, the party claims over 1 lakh members, lakhs of Instagram followers and a rapidly growing online army powered by sarcasm, anger and Gen Z rebellion. Even Trinamool MPs Moa Moitro and Kirti Azad have been welcomed into the party. And then comes the manifesto. Part satire, part systemic attack. No post-retirement Rajya Sabha seats for Chief Justices. 50% reservation for women in Parliament and the Cabinet. 20-year ban on defecting MLAs and MPs. Action against alleged vote deletion. The party has also tapped into growing youth anger over exam scams, unemployment and political distrust, positioning itself as the self-declared voice of the unemployed. Will the Cockroach Janta Party become a real political force or fade away as India's loudest meme? Too early to say. But one thing is certain. In the age of viral politics, even satire is now fighting for a seat at the table. With Sriya Kundu, Bureau Report, India Today.
And I'm sure you're wondering who's the OG cockroach behind this entire Cockroach Janta Party. Well, the man's name is Abhijit Dipke, and we spoke with him earlier. In the past 1 year, a lot of Gen Z movements have happened in and around India's neighborhood. We've had Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal. And a lot of memes were then floated around saying, India ka Gen Z kahan hai? Are you trying to say India ka Gen Z yahan hai?
I think इंडिया का जेन जी हमेशा यही था because the kind of support you see that we have got in just 3 days Sonal. Today we have like 3 lakh registered members. The figure has gone to 3 lakh in just 3-4 days. On Instagram we got 3.3 million people. That is 30 lakh people are following us. Do you really think that this is possible through any orchestrated campaign? No, it is not.
You know, Abhijit, the narrative on Gen Z in India is what? That Gen Z outrages but only online. If they come out on the streets, it's only to make reels. This doesn't really translate into something, which is why I was saying that many would say this is just a, like a splash in the pan sort of a moment.
No, I don't. Actually, I don't. Because for past few months, I have been observing that there is this growing trend that earlier people were frustrated, but they wouldn't like to express their dissatisfaction. But if you ever go on Instagram, now these people are speaking up. And this is just the first stage. Now they are trying to speak up. Earlier they were not even speaking up. Now they have got to a point where they are being vocal about their frustration. And tomorrow they might even get on the streets. But let me remind you again, if they get on the streets, don't think it will be like Nepal or Bangladesh. Indian Gen Z won't do that. Like, these people are really smart. I have been speaking to hundreds of them, and they are explaining me how they need to, protest in a very democratic and peaceful manner. They understand how important it is to raise their voice, but within the constitutional rights. So I wouldn't compare the Indian Gen Z with the Gen Z of other nations and would try to, defame them, because these people are more smarter than the entire cabinet ministry that is sitting there today. The kind of politicians we have, the kind of ministers we have, what educational qualifications do they have?
All right, you can watch that entire interview on our YouTube channel as well and catch more updates on our social media. For the moment, we're going to slip into a very quick break. When we come back on the other side, I bring to you what exactly is summer pollution. Just because you can't smell it doesn't mean it's not there. Details and deep understanding on the other side. Stay tuned.
Like a dream come true, you make me rise with you. In the sky of our own, feels like gravity is gone.
Feels like summer. Monte Carlo, it's the way you make me feel.
When Tamil Nadu made its voice heard, we were there.
The AIADMK MLAs.
Vijay is much more comfortable.
From the ground to your screen, every moment captured, every voice represented.
Vijay might hold a meeting.
Joseph Vijay all set to arrive here.
All eyes will be now on Vijay's performance as CM. Can he be from superstar to super CM?
With Akshita driving unmatched engagement, together the Tamil Nadu Bureau set the benchmark for election coverage. India Today Tamil Nadu Bureau, on the ground, leading the agenda.
Move aside political rallies, because India's newest internet revolution isn't being led by politicians. It's being led by cockroaches. Yes, you heard that right. The wildly viral Cockroach Janta Party has officially taken over social media timelines, and somehow the entire internet seems bizarrely united over it. No giant stages, no aggressive campaigning. Just memes, satire, sarcasm, and a whole lot of unemployed Gen Z humor. And if you still haven't heard of the Cockroach Janta Party, then congratulations. You're probably the only person not doom scrolling Instagram right now.
Take a stand, take a stand.
The satirical political group launched online after Chief Justice reportedly compared unemployed youth to cockroaches has become an overnight sensation. And now even people from the showbiz have joined in. Anurag Kashyap, known for never staying away from internet chaos, became one of the most talked about celebrity names linked to the trend. Soon after, Konkana Sen Sharma also grabbed attention online as netizens noticed celebrities interacting with the viral satire movement. And they weren't alone. Names like Fatima Sana Sheikh, Esha Gupta, Urfi Javed, among others, were also linked to the growing online frenzy. Interestingly, comedian Kunal Kamra and Punjabi singer-actress Himanshi Khurana are also among its followers. Meanwhile, in just a couple of days, the Cockroach Janta Party gained millions of followers. Across Instagram Reels and meme pages, users are jokingly begging for party tickets and declaring themselves qualified leaders. Describing itself as secular, socialist, democratic and lazy, the fictional party has proposed demands ranging from banning post-retirement Rajya Sabha seats for Chief Justices to introducing 50% reservation for women in Parliament. All while also calling for a 20-year election ban on MLAs and MPs who switch political parties.
Karnataka Youth Congress here is protesting at the Freedom Park against the BJP party and the central government, asking questions on the NEET paper leak. You can see the Youth Congress workers with the flags here protesting at the Freedom Park, and all the banners put on right now on the NEET scam, asking questions. Indian Youth Congress NEET scam exposed, India's youth demands answers, and that's the protest that they're taking up. This protest is a part of the Karnataka Youth Congress now. And also let me talk to few voices. आप किसके लिए आए इधर आज? क्या डिमांड है आप?
सर देखिए, डिमांड ऐसा है कि नीट का पेपर लीक हो चुका है और हम लोग भी कहीं काम कर रहे हैं, काम को जाते हैं तो काम के लिए धक्के खाते हैं, धक्के के अलावा और कुछ नहीं मिलता। डिग्री करना इस देश में वेस्ट हो गया है, हर चीज भी वेस्ट हो गया है।
Pradeep is here with me. Mr. Pradeep, what's your demand right now? You're a part of this protest today.
Dharmendra Pradhan has to resign. He is unfit to be a minister. He has played the game with the future of the 25 lakh students. So Dharmendra Pradhan is not giving pradhanyata to the dharm. So he should be named as Adharmendra Pradhan. So what justice we can expect? The person who can give melody देने वाला खिलाड़ी से हम क्या expect कर सकते हैं?
But the government is saying that they've arrested the people and holding people responsible for this act.
Why they allowed the internal people to leak the NEET paper? The chemistry teacher, the bio teacher are responsible, who are the part of the NTA. So government should take responsibility. Dharmendra Pradhan has to resign immediately.
That was Mr. Pradeep Ishwar, a Congress MLA, seeking answers and saying Dharmendra Pradhan, the union minister, should resign and taking responsibility for this leak of the NEET examination as well. Nagarjun Dwarkanath from Bengaluru for India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
The world's hottest cities right now are not in Sahara, not in Middle East. They are in India. For days now, small towns in North India have been sort of competing in a terrifying global race on who can survive the highest temperature on Earth. Banda in Uttar Pradesh touched a blistering 48.2 degrees Celsius. Etawah isn't far behind. Delhi is gasping. And across North India, roads are melting, transformers are exploding, hospitals are now filling up, and people are timing their lives around the sun. This is no longer summer, this is a survival weather. Step outside in parts of North India this afternoon and it feels less like air and more like a hairdryer blasting directly into your face. In Delhi, the Ridge area became the hottest spot in the capital at 46.5 degrees Celsius. Several neighborhoods also crossed the 45-degree mark. The IMD has now issued a heat wave alert, warning that temperatures between 44 to 46 are likely to continue. And the most chilling part? These temperatures are becoming normal. Cities like Banda and Etawah are now repeatedly appearing on the global temperature tracker, not once, not accidentally, but consistently ranking amongst the hottest cities and places on the planet. Think about it. Tiny districts in Uttar Pradesh are now hotter than deserts famous for extreme heat. And this isn't just a weather story anymore, it's a warning. Because extreme heat kills quietly, not dramatically like floods, not dramatically like earthquake or COVID. Heat creeps in slowly through dehydration, exhaustion, heat stroke, collapsing power grids, power shortages, water shortages as well, and also, remember, failing crops. The poorest suffer first. Delhi wage workers still sort of step out because missing work means missing food. Delivery workers continue riding under the, punishing sun. Street vendors stand beside burning, for hours. And for those without air conditioners, every night feels like they're trapped inside a furnace that never cools down because night temperatures this time are also going very high, which is really odd. Even homes are no refuge anymore. Fans blow hot air, coolers fail, electricity demand surges, and also hospitals begin reporting rising cases of dizziness, fainting, heat-related illness. Now, scientists have repeatedly warned that climate change is making heat waves longer, harsher, more frequent. What used to be extreme is now becoming routine. And the scariest part of this heat wave is not just today's temperature, it's the possibility that this may soon become the new normal. For now, doctors are urging people to avoid direct sunlight, stay hydrated, wear loose cotton clothing, and avoid stepping out during peak afternoon hours unless absolutely necessary. But the bigger question remains: how do cities build for the past survive? How do they build for a future? Because India isn't just battling a heat wave anymore, it is leaving just no stone unturned to destroy its economic setup. It is living through a front line of climate change. But as the heat wave goes up, a very peculiar phenomena is on our minds. Now, most of us think that pollution is a winter problem, October comes, air turns grey, you start seeing through, those AQI alerts and everyone panics. Then summer arrives and we think, "Arey, abhi to sab safe hai." We are not safe. The reason we do not notice summer pollution the way we notice winter pollution is partly visual. Winter smog is visible. You can see it, smell it, taste it. Summer haze is less dramatic. But the particles are still there, still entering your airways, still triggering sinus infections, allergic, enteritis as well, sort of persistent coughs, eye irritation. How many of you do you know around you who are coughing now? Just think about it. Pollution did not go on a holiday break, remember, because the temperatures crossed 40 degrees. The calendar changed and the pollutant changed. I'll tell you about that. The damage is still being done. Right now, in May of 2026, Delhi NCR is sitting at 46 degrees heat and the air is still in the poor category. You'll be shocked by these numbers. Greater Noida AQI, 312. Ghaziabad, 247 AQI. Noida, 233 AQI. The Commission of Air Quality Management has already triggered stage 1 GRAP measures in the middle of the heat wave. We don't know if it's being enforced or not. But that's the deal. GRAP 1 is in place. But let's understand what changed. What is the phenomenon of summer pollution? Remember, pollution has not gone, just the pollutant has changed. So listen carefully. Now, in winter, the villain is PM 2.5, released from stubble burning, vehicle exhaust, wood fires. They go deep into your lungs. They get trapped close to the ground because the temperature inversion, remember we told you that? Then the phenomena where cold air sits on the surface and warm air below acts like a lid, sealing everything in. What happens in the summer? Completely different story. Here the dominant pollutant now is PM10 and the source is mostly dust. This is how it works. Now the Thar Desert sits on the west, northwest of the northern plains, you understand that? In the summer, the land heats up so intensely that it creates what is called a heat low, a thermal low pressure system that stretches all the way to Iran. This pulls in a strong westerly wind. Remember your science lessons? When there is a low pressure area, something will come and take its place. So the western winds come and take its place. It is what we call Lu, blowing at 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. Those winds do not travel empty. They carry dust from West Asia, Thar, all the way across North India. And then the geography finishes the job. The Indo-Gangetic plains are boxed in, remember, like that. Himalayas to the north and the peninsular plateau to the south. The dust has nowhere to go. It is trapped here. It sits there, circulating, building up, raising PM10 levels and, day after day. And until the monsoon finally washes it out, it stays there. Then there is a local problem on top of that. Understand that. Broken roads, uncovered construction sites, dry, cracked soil on every barren patch of land. Heat sort of desiccates the soil aggressively. Loose particles sit on every surface waiting for the dust, and the gust of wind to pick them up. The loo obviously obliges, so it's all just, blowing in the wind with it. There is another summer pollutant that barely gets talked about, and this is ground level ozone. Not the good ozone, remember, up in the stratosphere that shields us from the UV radiation. There is an ozone forming right at the surface as a byproduct of the chemical reaction between nitrogen oxides and sort of volatile organic compounds. Bahut technical nahi hai, just bear with me. What happens here is that the heat and sunlight drive these reactions, and as a result, in peak summer, you have something called a ground level ozone that builds up. And that is what inflames and damages lung tissues as well. So because of a whole host of factors, at 45 degrees, AQI is 300, which is why here on the program and repeatedly I've been saying that air pollution is a year-long problem, air pollution is a pan-India problem, and we need a solution now. All right. That's for our health sort of environment experts to sort of think about, and we'll keep taking those questions to our ministers as well. But for the moment, on this program, we don't just raise questions, we also provide solutions. So here is what you need to be doing to actually keep yourself safe this summer. You don't want to land up in the hospital, so drink wisely, also drink intelligently. Watch this report to understand what electrolytes do and why they are important for you this summer. हमें कितना पानी पीना चाहिए दिन में?
2 to 3 liters.
गलत जवाब.
I don't अपने body weight के हिसाब से पीना होगा ऐसे.
सही जवाब. So you're drinking water, eating fruits, doing everything right this summer, but you're still getting tired, getting headaches almost, and you're cramping up. Well, it's not a hydration problem, it is an electrolyte problem. For this video, we spoke with Dr. Shivaranjani Santosh. Also, we spoke with Dr. Ritika. So let's understand what happens when we sweat in the summer. Remember, you are not only losing water, you're losing sodium, potassium, also chloride. And these are the basic 3 minerals that are actually controlling how hydrated your body really feels. And without them, you'll have things like muscle cramp, also energy crash.
And losing your mind.
Yeah, brain fog bhi hota hai, she's right. Also, plain water cannot replace these. Remember, that's what electrolytes are really for. People who sweat heavily, spend a lot of time outdoors, exercise regularly, or also recovering from maybe diarrhea or vomiting, they genuinely need electrolytes. But if you're not sure if you actually need it, here's a quick cheat sheet for you. Firstly, check the color of your urine. If it's dark yellow, then it's clearly a red flag. If you have dry lips, if you have headaches, if you have muscle cramps, also if you're generally just feeling very tired in the middle of the day, all of these are signs that your body is asking for more. But if you're mostly indoors, you're eating a balanced meal, your food is already covering it. You don't really need anything fancy. For example, a banana is great. Nimbu pani is of course great for hydration. Add a pinch of salt, some sugar if you like. Nariyal pani, chach, all of them are great ways to keep yourself hydrated. If you have kidney issues, check with your doctor before loading up on any of the electrolytes. Now, what about people who are outdoors in extreme heat? If you're doing 60 to 70 minutes of intense workout, or even if you're going for a long walk in the heat, then adding an electrolyte powder is absolutely fine. Also, what you have to be careful about is some of the sports drinks that are there in the market. They have a lot of sugar in it. So what you have to do is actually read the label and see what exactly is inside these powders and these drinks. You have to look for things like sodium, potassium listed. And if it's not clearly mentioned, it's probably just flavored sugar water. Also, if someone is actually sick, मतलब आपको diarrhea, vomiting type का हो गया है, तो WHO बोलता है that ORS is actually the gold standard for any kind of rehydration. But ORS पीने में एक catch है. You have to follow the exact ratio on the packet. जैसे ये पैकेट पे लिखा हुआ है 1 लीटर वाटर, तो आपको ये पूरा पैकेट 1 लीटर वाटर में मिलाना है. One last thing, don't overdo on your electrolytes either. You know, it can cause irregular heartbeats as well. So what are you doing to stay hydrated this summer? All right, so that's something new you learned today. If you want more such tips, you can go and subscribe to the Health Wealth channel. We have lots of information there on everything that keeps your health first. That's it. We could pack up on the program today. Stay tuned to India Today. Lots more coming up.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
एक तरफ पूरा विश्व भारत की तरफ, प्रधानमंत्री जी की तरफ बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ देखता है, दूसरी तरफ नकारात्मक सोच रखने वाले राहुल गांधी जी अपने स्वभाव का परिचय, अपने चरित्र का परिचय अपने शब्दों में, अपने भाषणों में बार बार दे रहे हैं। ये अलग बात है कि भारत की जनता उनको एक के बाद एक ठुकराती है, एक के बाद एक वो चुनाव में हारते हैं। उसका जो फ्रस्ट्रेशन है, उसकी जो एक प्रकार से उनमें खुंदकी भावना है, वो नजर आती है। जिस प्रकार से वो गाली गलौज पे उतर आए हैं और प्रधानमंत्री जी के लिए बड़ी ओछे शब्दों में वो बात रखते हैं।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
The future of domestic work in India lies at the intersection of dignity, regulation and respect.
महीने का 10,000 से ऊपर आज तक अपने लाइफ में नहीं कमाया। जैसे हम मेहनत करते हैं उतना पैसा नहीं हमें मिलता है।
Workers are redefining their place, driven by app-based services and on-ground support from platforms.
ऑनलाइन जाने का सोचा कभी तुमने?
ऑनलाइन में क्या है, मैं तो जाओगे तो सभी काम करने पड़ेगा।
पहले काम करते थे जहाँ पे, वहाँ पर हमें उतनी इज्जत नहीं मिलती थी।
The question is not whether change is happening, but whether it will be enough.
Co-powered by
The new Tygoon. Welcome to driving.
Hello and welcome. Good evening. You're watching Super 6 here on India Today. I'm Akshata Nandagopalo. The next 1 hour, we'll get you all the big headlines coming in from the southern states. So what do we have for you on the broadcast this evening? We're going to be talking about the Tamil Nadu cabinet expansion. A number of headlines that have emerged from it. For starters, that the Congress, after over 5 decades, finds itself as a part of the government. We'll have Congress's Pravin Chakravarti joining us in this edition of Super 6, but we'll also be talking about some of the controversies that have emerged over Chief Minister Vijay's cabinet, over the ministers. So we'll get you all of those details, but also on the show, the controversy over Vande Mataram. You've got the DMK and several other parties questioning why the Vande Mataram is playing first and the Tamil anthem is playing last. What really is this showdown about? We'll have a political panel with us on this. So as always, lots lined up for you. Let's begin with the headlines. One of the masterminds of the 2019 Pulwama attack killed by unknown gunmen in POK, Hamza Burhan, known as Doctor, sustains multiple bullet injuries after he was attacked in Muzaffarabad. Vijay's cabinet expands. 21 TVK, 2 Congress MLAs take oath as ministers. Controversy erupts after swearing in ceremony begins with Vande Mataram and not the Tamil anthem. DMK fumes, says Vijay letting Tamilians down. Manhunt on for Twisha's absconding husband. Cops increase reward on husband to 30,000 rupees. Mother-in-law faces action as she's set to be axed as the Consumer Forum judge. Calcutta High Court asks CBI to probe allegations of evidence tampering in RG Kaur rape and murder case. Directs CBI to form an SIT and submit report by June 25th. Bengal Chief Minister makes Vande Mataram in madrasas mandatory before classes. Ex-TMC Neta, AJUP Chief Humayun Kabir and Samajwadi Party oppose move, accuse BJP of politicizing the national song. NEET whistleblower alleges silence bid by Sikar's top cop, cites police inaction from May 3rd to May 7th in paper leak gate and deliberate bid to delay probe. NTA DG Abhishek Singh appears before parliamentary panel. And let's begin with breaking news that's coming in on the cabinet reshuffle by Chief Minister Vijay. What's emerged as a big surprise is the fact that the finance portfolio, which was handed over just last week to the veteran of the party, the political veteran in TVK, Sengotian, has now changed hands. The finance ministry has now gone over to Murray Wilson, who is the MD of the JPR group. If you're from Tamil Nadu, if you're not from Chennai, you know that the JPR group of institutions, the colleges are very, very famous, are very popular in Tamil Nadu. So he is the MD of that particular group. He's been handed the finance ministry. Sengotian has been shifted over to revenue ministry. Another key portfolio, yes, but there are questions being asked on exactly why this change happened. Let's get you a reaction now of the new finance minister, Murray Wilson.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu for giving me this opportunity and the RK Nagar constituency people for electing me in this government. So this is a historic moment actually, since because after 60 years the alliance partner Congress, today alliance partner, and 60 years they have been inducted in the cabinet. So this is a historic moment. I'm feeling proud to be a part of this. So looking forward to the portfolio and working ahead with the government for the people.
And on your screens is a video that's also been put out by the DMK. This is the video on the left of your screens, an old video that the DMK has posted to question Murray Wilson's credentials and the fact that he's got a criminal record against him. That is something the DMK has latched onto, including this video, which shows Murray Wilson with a bat seemingly in some sort of a fight. It's over this now that the DMK is questioning the TVK. Let's bring in Pramod Madhav, who's joining us live from Chennai with more details on this. Pramod, give us a sense of why we saw this shift, that in a matter of 1 week, Sengotian was moved from finance to revenue and Murray Wilson was brought in. Also, has the TVK responded to the questions being asked about Murray Wilson's criminal past?
Well, Akshita, one thing is very certain. TVK sources very clearly say that now DMK is the opposition, so opposition will have to raise these things. So that is what DMK IT wing is doing over here. The important aspect here is that revenue for the state is a very, very important position, and that also needs a minister with kind of like experience and such. And TVK claims that that is the reason Sengotian was moved to revenue, while finance is a step. One of Murray Wilson is among one of the close attaches to the chief minister Vijay, and in the earlier cabinet he did not get a seat, and that is why he's been moved to the finance over here. Vijay, chief minister, very clearly has said that he's going to monitor each and everything closely, which means he needs the people he trusts, and that's the reason Murray Wilson has been given the position of finance minister for the state.
Okay, so controversy aplenty over that video, and the DMK saying why exactly has Murray Wilson been chosen? What are his credentials? He's an educationist, essentially, someone who's part of the JPR family, very influential family as well. Thanks very much, Pramod, for joining us with those details. So controversies also that you're seeing playing out right now over the names that have been brought in Chief Minister Vijay's cabinet. With the cabinet expansion in Tamil Nadu, we now have a more or less complete Team Vijay. And there are so many faces that stand out in this cabinet. It's almost like a startup full of new, young profiles with lots to prove, of course. The youngest minister now is S. Kamali, all of 28 and fiery. I'd met her in Avinashi. Remember, she defeated Union Minister L. Murugan and has been rewarded with a cabinet berth. And she's not the only young newbie or woman. So 28-year-old Kamali, then you have 29-year-old Kirtana. MLA from Sivakasi was in the first list of TVK MLA sworn in as a minister. She's got a crucial portfolio of industries. Then there's 31-year-old Ramesh, a content writer turned politician. Interesting trajectory, yes, but clearly now the new normal in Tamil Nadu. He's now the HR and CE minister. Not easy considering this is one of the most watched out for portfolios. It's one that always lands up in controversy. He's an MLA, again first-time politician, like I said, MLA from Srirangam. So we have educationists, we have content writers in the cabinet. We also have actors. I'm not talking about Chief Minister Vijay, that's an obvious one. There are two other actors too, which means that this is perhaps for the first time we have three actors turned politicians in one government, in one cabinet. Raj Mohan, YouTuber, actor, is the education minister known for his jokes previously, has now gotten down to business. And then you have Rajnath. If you've seen Tamil movies, you know he's a familiar face. He's known to be Vijay's friend. And so now you have a third actor in the cabinet. Rajnath was just brought in now in this expansion that happened. He is known to be a good friend of Chief Minister Vijay. So Vijay's super kings and queens, if I can call them that, are an interesting mix. They come from different backgrounds, different profiles, most of them newbies, and there's no doubt that they have to hit the ground running because the whole state, the whole country actually is watching this unique team to see if they can actually deliver. So let's get you also a sense of what's played out in the last 24 hours. At 10 a.m. is when we saw that cabinet expansion take place. Chief Minister Vijay was there in the presence of the governor. These new faces were all administered the oath. One of the big headlines is also that, yes, the Congress, after over 5 decades, is now part of a government in Tamil Nadu. So this is truly a coalition government. For the first time in a long, long time, we're seeing power sharing.
Tamil Nadu has entered a new chapter and it belongs to Thalapathy Vijay. In the much-awaited cabinet expansion, the first phase saw 10 ministers take oath. The second wave brought in 23 more. 21 from TVK and 2 from Alliance Partner Congress. With TVK opening its doors to coalition partners, the cabinet is shaping up to be a true alliance effort. IUML has put forward AM Shah Jahan as the ministerial nominee.
இந்திய யூனியன் முஸ்லிம் லீகையும் அமைச்சரவையில் சேர்த்துக்கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்ற ஒரு முடிவெடுத்திருக்கிறோம். அந்த முடிவுக்கு ஏற்ப உங்கள் இயக்கத்தை சார்ந்த 2 எம்எல்ஏக்களில் ஒரு எம்எல்ஏக்கு அமைச்சர் பதவி கொடுக்கலாம் என்று முடிவெடுத்திருக்கிறோம்.
BCK2 is expected to name Vani Arasu for a cabinet berth.
Dirma sir, you've been given an Minister, are you going to become a member of the cabinet?
Ask him.
Adding a personal touch to the political moment, a long-time friend of Chief Minister Vijay, Tamil Nadu Minister Srikanth stepped forward to congratulate him for reshaping Tamil Nadu.
A lot of responsibility. We have to work hard for that, for the well-being of the people. My leader, with the support of my leader and my party people, I will definitely do my hard work.
But politics, as always, has its own script. BJP sharpened its attack on Congress and called them backstabbers, a charge Congress swiftly and firmly rejected.
Entered the back door of the government and they have backstabbed the DMK alliance who were supporting them for more than 20 years.
See, our leaders had already spoken to them from Delhi. We did not betray anybody. If DMK was short of forming the government of 5 MLAs that we possess, then definitely we could have called as betrayal. Respecting the people's mandate is not a betrayal.
And no historic ceremony is complete without a moment of drama. During the oath-taking, Governor Rajendra R. Lekar was forced to step in as TVK and Congress MLAs erupted into slogans, some hailing Vijay, others Rahul Gandhi.
Bharat Ratna Rajiv Gandhi Ramam Valga, Makal தலைவர் Rahul Gandhi Valga.
It is not a part of your oath.
தளபதியின்றி நான் இல்லை. கா தென்னரசு எனும் நான் சட்டப்படி அமைக்கப்பட்ட.
This expansion carries weight beyond numbers. New faces, fresh mandates and high expectations. For the man who traded cinema for politics, this is no longer just a debut. It is a declaration. Bureau Report, India Today.
So one of the Congress MLAs, they also tried to speak of Rahul Gandhi and the likes, and that's what's triggered the governor also stopping him mid-oath. So a bit of controversy that played out during the swearing in as well that took place this morning. But let's focus really on the Congress and why this is a big deal for them. The fact is that for decades, the Congress has played second fiddle. Not like that's changed, but you've finally got a leg in as far as the government goes in Tamil Nadu. Remember that the Congress had a very rich political legacy in Tamil Nadu. 1937 to 54, you had C. Rajagopalachari as the Chief Minister of Madras State. And then when it transitioned over to Tamil Nadu, Kamarajar, an idol who's revered even now in Tamil Nadu politics. From 1954 to 1963, it was Kamarajar who was the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. The last Congress Chief Minister was in fact Bhakta Vatsalam. This was right up till 1967, after which the DMK came to power, and then since then has been the rule of the Dravidian parties. After this era of 1967, this is the first time the Congress has found itself in the government. Sure, not as a chief minister or any of that, but you've got 2 MLAs who've now become Tamil Nadu ministers. So has the gamble of dumping the DMK and going with the TVK actually worked for the Congress? Yes and no. Let's decode for you what the Congress lost versus what it gained. Now, as far as what it gained goes, obviously you're in the Tamil Nadu government, like I said, you've got 2 ministers despite having only 5 MLAs. And so that's a great win for the Congress. But what it lost in the process of dumping the DMK is that someone was a strong ally in the India bloc, no longer part of it. The Congress tried to suggest that DMK would still be a part of the India bloc. The DMK said that's not happening. Besides that, also considering the TVK tie-up for the Congress, it's back in government after 59 years. That's huge for the Congress. You know, they've been waiting for this. They've tried to push hard for power sharing with the DMK. It didn't happen. But the problem is that they still stuck to their alliance with the DMK right up until the mandate. And so you had the DMK, a strong endorser of Rahul Gandhi as the Prime Minister face of the India bloc, no longer part of the India bloc. There were many other regional parties who weren't so strongly endorsing Rahul Gandhi. MK Stalin was one of them. And yet now there's no ties left between the DMK and Congress. Vijay is now the face of the Tamil Nadu alliance. And for the Congress, that means several gains, even in, let's say, a campaign in Kerala, where Vijay can be plugged in. That's a great plus for them because he's hugely popular. So in the south, they kind of have one more face who can represent them and who will campaign for them. But also at the same time, reputationally, they've been hit because of that image. That political greed has led them to leave their long-time ally like a DMK and move to the TVK. And that's something that other regional parties like the SP have also jibed the Congress over. They've got a strong South India influence now, being in government in Tamil Nadu. So they add to that list of Karnataka, of Telangana, of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, because you've got two ministers as well. But they're still very much playing the second fiddle as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, because now it's to the TVK. So several aspects to consider here, but ultimately what did it come down to? There was no power sharing with the DMK. So once the mandate came in, the Congress switched over. Listen in to what MK Stalin had said months ago when he was the chief minister during the election season, when he spoke to India Today. And that was the first time he said very clearly, there's no question of power sharing with the Congress.
ஆட்சியில் பங்குன்றதை பற்றி அது தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு ஒத்து வராது அப்படிங்கிறது எங்களுக்கும் தெரியும், அவங்களுக்கும் தெரியும். அது இடையில சில பேர் கிளப்பி ஒரு பிரச்சனை, கூட்டணியில் ஏதாவது முறிவு ஏற்படுமா அப்படிங்கிறத ஏற்படுத்துகிற ஒரு திட்டமிட்ட சதி செய்கிறாங்க. அது வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. அதை பற்றி நாங்களும் கவலைப்படல, அப்புறம் கவலைப்படல.
Okay, joining us here on this edition of Super 6, we've got Pravin Chakravarti of the Congress, someone who's played a very big role in fact, allowing and ensuring that the TVK and Congress come together. So, Mr. Chakravarti, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations, first of all, that the Congress has managed to finally be a part of the government in Tamil Nadu after 5 decades. But I'm going to straight up ask you, sir, why has it taken so long for the Congress to get here?
First, thank you, but it's after nearly 6 decades, so it's even longer.
59, yeah, you're right.
Yes, you're right in asking why has it taken so long, because what does it tell you? For 6 decades, the party has not really been in power, but the party has continued to be a political force in a state like Tamil Nadu. So that shows the amount of goodwill that the party and the party leadership have in Tamil Nadu. But for some reason, it has not been able to be translated into share in power and governance and rights and respect for our party cadre. I think we have to really understand what has happened in the past. You know, there were opportunities earlier, like in 2006 for the Congress party to be in government, but we don't know. I mean, really, whatever the decisions taken by the local leaders at that point in time, so it's for them to answer why this was not done earlier. But there was also this, I would say now, false kind of feeling created that Tamil Nadu will not accept a coalition government for some strange reason. And we clearly have shown that that is absolutely wrong, and we've shown that today.
No, so, you know, a lot of people, and you've been instrumental, like I said in the beginning, Mr. Chakravarti, of ensuring that this TVK Congress alliance actually happened. But many would ask, what's really changed for the Congress? You were playing second fiddle to the DMK, you're now playing second fiddle to the TVK.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm the first to admit that this is just a beginning. We are still a very small part of the overall government. We are only 5 MLAs. We will not forget that. But it is a very important beginning for us to grow the party from here. So the onus now is entirely on the leadership of the Tamil Nadu State Congress and its functionaries and office bearers and workers to build the party from there, because the High Command, the leadership now has opened up this window for the state unit. So absolutely, and that is what has changed. I'm not saying today we're suddenly become a big force overnight. No, not at all.
No, but, you know, keeping in mind, and I'm going to refer to the fact that in the last few days, we saw Congress show of strength in Thiruvananthapuram, if I can call it that, where you had the Congress show off the fact that they're in power in every single state in the south except for Andhra Pradesh. Then, you know, as someone who's covered Tamil Nadu, Rahul Gandhi, I know, is hugely popular in Tamil Nadu. And despite all of this, why is it that the Congress has simply been unable to make the most of the situation for the last so many years in the state? And does that change now? You know, are you looking at a 2031?
You're right, and I certainly hope so, but I hope we don't have to wait till 2031 for a structural reform. I want the structural reform in the Tamil Nadu Congress Party to start tomorrow or like today evening.
Yeah.
So we need to move fast. We need to really use this opportunity to build the party, and I have no hesitation in admitting that, in saying that is for us to do. And we can't continue to expect allies or play second fiddle, as you called it. So absolutely, I think I agree with you on that.
Okay, so I'm going to raise a point made constantly, Mr. Chakravarti, by the DMK. And, you know, they've constantly been criticizing the fact that the Congress has chosen to go with the TVK. They've called you backstabbers. They've called this a betrayal. In hindsight, do you think that the Congress could have handled the situation better as far as leaving and moving out from the DMK and joining the TVK is concerned?
No, I don't think. I think that's perhaps a half-truth. So the sequence of events were like this. On the day of the results, at about 5 p.m., Mr. Rahul Gandhi called Mr. Vijay to congratulate him after having spoken to the then Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin. He first spoke to Mr. Stalin about the results, and then he called Mr. Vijay to congratulate him on the victory. On that call, Mr. Vijay asked Mr. Rahul Gandhi for Congress's support right on that day. And I know it because I was part of that conversation. And then very quickly we started to hear about efforts of backdoor machinations to prevent the TVK from coming to power and letting others which perhaps did not get the mandate from the people in terms of political ideology get in through the back door. And it is now well known, and many leaders have said of political ideology, get in through the back door. And it is now well known, and many leaders have said it, that there were talks between the DMK and the AIADMK. So there were a lot of these things that were happening, and hence the Congress Party decided that we have to respect the people's mandate first, and the people's mandate was for a secular progressive government, and so we had to move fast, and we were very clear that that's what we're going to stand for, regardless of what the backdoor machinations were.
Since you've mentioned the AIADMK, you know, there's been a huge churn in the party. Right now, in the floor test that happened, you had AIADMK rebels coming on board, supporting the TVK, extending their support to Chief Minister Vijay. What happens, sir, if the AIADMK comes on board? Is that something that will lead to the Congress saying that no, we, you know, pulling out, we will no longer support this alliance?
See, I mean, this is a hypothetical question. As far as, I mean, you know, I know there's a lot of kind of what if happens, this happens, or that happens. What are the facts as of now? The facts are whatever is going on with the AIADMK is an internal party issue. There was a section that decided to support the government in the confidence motion on the floor of the House. The TVK or the Congress had nothing to do with that decision, right? So it is really for the AIADMK to resolve this. Now, we can't answer hypothetical questions like what if there is a breakaway? We don't know which one will be the real AIADMK. We don't know what will happen in the courts. There are so many of these questions, so I don't think it's fair for me to answer that.
Okay, fair enough. But before I let you go, Mr. Chakravarti, you know, there is a video that's been going viral. I will just put out that video. This was a video that you had posted, actually, of how you had returned back to your teaching gig. And you had all of these students then playing out a Vijay song. There were whistles in the air, all of this to welcome you. That's the video right there. And, you know, I see it in Delhi. There's a lot of curiosity about Vijay. Did you see that too? I'm sure you did, looking at what's played out.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was actually quite taken aback. I was surprised because I'm a visiting faculty at Reshuffle University, which is in Sonipat, Haryana, which is not exactly, which is quite almost a world away from Tamil Nadu, as you would know. So when I went back to resume my teaching after, after the government was formed, as I walked into my class, the students just erupted with they're playing a Vijay song and they were whistling and clapping. I was quite, to be honest, I was quite embarrassed too, but I was also taken aback to see how a campus in Sonipat, Haryana was following the rise of a new political party deep down south in Tamil Nadu, crossing the Godavari and divide. That was quite interesting. So you're right. See, it is very clear that there is a huge kind of movement that we are seeing among young people. You can call it Gen Z, you can call it anything else, but generally people below the age of 40, I think there is this, they've suddenly become energized, they've suddenly become more political, they want change, they want, freshness, they want new ideas, they're tired of old establishment politics. And, I look at this, what happened in that little classroom of mine, and I also look at, all the students were also telling me about the Cockroach Janta Party or whatever that has come up suddenly, I don't think these are isolated incidents.
It's fascinating, to say the least. And you're right, it kind of highlights also what's happening perhaps across the country, but it's wonderful to see, all of this curiosity over the language, over Vijay's films, over songs, all of that courtesy what's happened in politics, believe it or not, in Tamil Nadu. But Mr. Chakravarti, pleasure having you with us here on India Today. Thank you very much for joining us and for that conversation on politics and so much more. All right, so you've heard from the Congress on what's taken them so long now to be a part of the government, but it's finally happened. 2 out of 5 MLAs now are in the government for the Congress. Now, in the ceremony that took place today, there was a controversy that also played out. What was this about? When a governor attends a ceremony, there's usually the national song that's played, followed by the national anthem, followed by the Tamil anthem. The likes of DMK have questioned this, saying, why has the Tamil anthem been pushed to the very end, pushed to the last? Political controversy is playing out. Let's get you those reactions.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaja Sheetalam.
One national song, one state anthem. But in Tamil Nadu, the order of songs has now turned into a full-blown political storm. Protocol versus pride. North versus Tamil identity. And once again, Chief Minister Vijay finds himself at the center of the controversy. Even as Vijay expanded his cabinet to 23 ministers, the spotlight quickly shifted from power politics to a battle over Tamil pride. When the national song played out before the Tamil anthem, the DMK launched a blistering attack on the state government, questioning whether this was the change promised to the people, accusing the Vijay government of sidelining Tamil rights and identity. DMK further alleged that the TVK had ignored the long-standing priority for Tamil anthem protocol and had bowed before the governor instead of standing its ground.
This government is going to function. This is going to be the style of functioning of this government. And now Tamil Varta has gone to the third place. In the days to come, Tamil Nadu, which was standing first in so many aspects, I'm afraid, like Tamil Varta, these developments also will face the same consequence, may face the same consequence.
But in a twist, TVK ally CPIM has backed Vijay, with the party's P. Shanmugam defending the Chief Minister.
மத்திய அரசாங்கத்துடைய உத்தரவு அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு. இது இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி சம்பந்தமாக முதலமைச்சரிடம் நாங்கள் கேட்டோம். மத்திய அரசாங்கம் கடந்த பிப்ரவரி மாதம் குடியரசுத் தலைவர், குடியரசு துணைத் தலைவர், ஆளுநர் பங்கேற்கக்கூடிய நிகழ்ச்சிகளில் முதலில் வந்தே மாதரம் பாடப்பட வேண்டும் என்கிற வரிசையை அவர்கள் ஏற்கனவே தீர்மானித்து உத்தரவிட்டிருக்கிறார்கள். அந்த உத்தரவைத்தான் பின்பற்ற முடியும் என்று ஆளுநர் தெரிவித்து விட்டார். ஆகவே எங்களால் இந்த முறையை மாற்ற முடியவில்லை.
Yet, the same CPIM, after Vijay's oath ceremony, had questioned why the Tamil anthem was played third after Vande Mataram and the national anthem.
The Congress too, citing protocol, defended its ally the TVK.
After nearly 60 years, the Congress party has a minister. Not only for the Congress party, this also marks a shift in the politics of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is ready for coalition government and it will continue to have coalition governments going forward.
Tamil Nadu's political debate is now no longer just about a ceremony. It's about symbolism, identity, and a question growing louder with every controversy: who decides the order of pride in Tamil Nadu? Bureau Report, India Today.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram.
So is this much ado about nothing, considering that this is the process, the protocol that's always followed when a governor attends an event? Or is there legitimate outrage over the national song being played before the Tamil anthem? Let me bring in on this broadcast Mr. S. Muralidharan, Harish Mohammad Ibrahim, as well as Mr. Narayan Tirupati, spokesperson of the Tamil Nadu BJP. Good evening. Thank you all very much for joining us. Harish, I'd like to begin with you. What do you make of this entire controversy? Ultimately, when a governor attends an event, this is the late protocol. The national song plays, the national anthem plays, and then you have the Tamil anthem.
I fairly agree with your point. As there has been a guideline given by the Home Ministry, we accept that. But why isn't it being followed while during the West Bengal swearing-in ceremony? Even the BJP ruling state didn't follow the protocol by having the Vande Mataram sung. Even there, the national Bengalis anthem was sung first and then followed by the national anthem. So why you have to take another yardstick to only Tamil Nadu by making sure to put across the protocol which has been followed here for almost 100 years? In each and every government function, the Tamil anthem will be presiding its first portion, second followed by the national anthem. If you want to go ahead and add the Vande Mataram to your protocol list, then go ahead and do that. But having said that, the mother nature, the culture of that law of the land should prevail in its own prevalence. Whether it has been done in West Bengal, if in the same way, then okay, fine, fair enough. We would have welcomed the same move because it has a uniformity across the country.
Valid question. Let me get in Narayan and Tirupati to answer that. Mr. Tirupati?
Yeah, even yesterday when we saw in Kerala also, the same, Vande Mataram was sung in Kerala's vote-taking ceremony also. So by the Congress people, everyone, including Mr. Rahul Gandhi. In fact, we saw Mr. Rahul Gandhi hurrying up the chief minister to stand up for the national song. So, see, these are all silly politics which the DMK and other people are trying to do. There is a protocol, there is a MHO order, the governor, the president or the governor, so the president, sir, let me finish, sir, please. So when, when the president or the governor participates in a function, while coming or while going, it should be sung. This is the guideline. So if he says that it is not followed in West Bengal, it will be followed. If they have not followed, they will follow. Very, very simple. That followed in Kerala. But who opposed in Kerala?
No, but
only
then Mr. Tirupati, if not followed in Bengal, that's selective.
Yeah,
if there is an order, then in every state it must be followed.
Ankita,
Otherwise, in every state, everyone raise their hand and say, do what you want.
Ankita, if that's what I said, I don't know. He says that it was not followed in West Bengal. I have not seen. Suppose if it has not been followed, it will be followed from future. They have to tell them and they will correct it. Very simple.
You
very,
touch
very
your heart
simple.
and say you didn't follow that.
You tell me if you have to be happy that it is followed here. If it is not followed there, you tell that Anish should say that West Bengal should follow if it has not followed. I accept it fully. But he can't say they are not doing so, you don't do. That is not right.
No, but that gives the freedom. That gives the freedom, sir, for them to go ahead and say it didn't happen here. We can go ahead and do it here.
No. Don't do politics in this. That's what I'm saying.
Because
no
that is a linguistic pride state like Tamil Nadu. That is the linguistic pride holding state like Tamil Nadu.
Because Tamil Nadu is part of India and Tamil Nadu is part of, you are talking about 100 years.
Sir,
you are talking about 100 years. 100 years the Vande Mataram was not sung well. Sir, 100 years the Vande Mataram was not sung, it was not sung properly. That is why 3 minutes, 10 seconds, we have made it mandatory. So the government has made it mandatory. You have to accept the facts. You have to first be a citizen of India, sir. Definitely,
It is
I am a
okay,
proud
fine.
Tamil. I am a proud Tamil
What makes
person.
singing Tamil song
I am a
first place?
proud Tamilan. Why do
Narayanan,
you
sir.
unnecessarily make politics here?
Narayanan, sir. Why you
I
want to
understand
change the
one thing.
practice?
I
You
understand
always,
one
the
thing.
BJP
Okay,
Again,
want
one
to
at a
change the
time,
practice.
please.
I
The
understand one
BJP
thing.
always wanted
See,
to
I
change the
understand
practice
one
which
thing.
has been
I don't
existing for
see.
almost several decades.
Let
Why you
me
have to
finish.
decide?
Let me finish. As far as this argument is concerned, I told you, if I don't know whether it was not sung in West Bengal, the order was issued in February. If they have not done it, you have to follow it. Simple, very simple. Don't say they have not done, so I will not do. It is not correct. If it is not done in West Bengal, they should do it. They will do it. Simple.
Mr. Muralidharan, do you want to come in on this for the TVK? You know, is this a catch-22 situation that they're in? There is, of course, a protocol that is to be followed, but constantly the DMK says that you're not standing up for Tamil rights as a result of not opposing the fact that the national song goes over the Tamil anthem.
See, with due respect to the Tamil anthem, Akshita, what we need to understand, there are great things happening in Tamil Nadu. Today, some 7 to 8 Dalit ministers were sworn in for the first time in the history of Tamil Nadu. 2, there's a Brahmin minister who's going to head the HRNC ministry. These are fantastic things. And already there's a crackdown happening on corruption and things like overcharging and looting in TASMAC, which we saw extremely rampant in DMK's regime. And DMK has nothing to talk about today, unfortunately. And they're rattled, they know all these Nepo kids who are actually, doing all kind of, throwing tantrums in the ministries when they were ruling. They're scared. If Vijay goes ahead and, eradicates corruption, they don't know what they will do.
No, but you're painting, Mr. Muralidharan, a very rosy picture. I'll remind you that there is a controversy over the new finance minister as well, over Murray Wilson.
No, I say, forget them. See, earlier Mr. Chengoten was there. He was given that portfolio as a stopgap arrangement till they find the right candidate. Now they brought in Murray Wilson. Okay, there are controversies. Wherever. See, everywhere there are controversies, but the head has to be clean. Vijay says, I will.
No, you can't compromise and then say that, we stand for having leaders with no criminal record who have no criminal past when there is particularly a case point here.
I don't think he ever said that. Even if there are corrupt ministers, like even Zengoten is not clean, we all know that. But if he is going to be in Vijay's cabinet, he better will, be clean. Otherwise, he is going to be thrown out. So that's very clear. Vijay is walking the talk. See, he's got everything under control. And these people have nothing to talk about. So they're just complaining on these trivial issues.
Harish, is this a needless controversy that you have stirred up, that the DMK has stirred up by questioning, why is the national song played first? And what is the problem? Harish, the question that the BJP also asks is, what is the problem with having the national song first? Tamil Nadu is a part of the country. Celebrated.
Now, leave aside that. He is speaking about a Nepo kid. I want to remind him, Mr. Vijay himself a Nepo kid. His father is Chandrasekhar, who was then AIS director. So don't speak all these rubbish things on a national media stating that you are bringing out something kind of clean politics. No. Who's Mr. Radhavarjuna? Their entire family is in politics.
Without his father,
and who gave the to bring back Madam Lima Rose to defect the
Okay,
ADMK,
one at a time, please. I'll give you a chance, Mr. Muralidharan, to respond. Harish, go ahead.
I haven't interrupted.
Yeah, Harish, go ahead.
So, having said that, you don't say that the TVK government of the 10 days doesn't have any prominent things. There are several things. Almost 67 murders have been happening on a daily basis. It is rampant across everywhere. And the usage of weed across the school children are there. POCSO Acts has been implemented on 13 of them across the state for the last 14 days. So don't say that. And the electricity, the night across the state, the electricities have been shortage, has been prevalent, and it has been there across Chennai cities for almost 3 to 4 hours during the late night. So don't say that you don't have any issues to speak up in the TVK government. That is totally a rubbish false. So don't back up your TVK ally.
Ankita, I heard from one of my friends that, for every 1 megawatt, the previous government was taking around 25 lakhs as bribe. Now they have stopped.
So
why not Harish tell
the earlier government plucked everything and went, huh? Why is the shortage now?
Sir,
What kind
please
of argument
understand.
is that?
I am telling you, a big, huge corruption scandal which was happening has been stopped.
You are there in BJP
Please
rule for the
understand.
12 years. ED,
Please
IT,
understand this.
everything was there with you.
Please
Why
understand
couldn't
this.
you snap all those things?
So
Sir, come on, sir.
you accept that it was happening, right?
Sir,
So you
come
accept
on,
that it
sir.
was
You
happening,
were
right?
there in government for
You are
12 years
accepting
now.
that it
Why
was
couldn't
happening.
your agencies
I
only
thank
for
you
doing
that
the
you
vendetta
accepted.
politics you use the ED
Sir,
and IT?
Yeah, everything will come into light. Please, sir, please wait.
You were there in 12 years for the government. Why couldn't you do that?
Are you accepting it? That your government
if your
was a
claims
corrupt
to be
government.
true, if your claims to be true, why you
Okay,
did
one at a
I'm
time.
telling you, it is a corrupt government. You accept it. That's what I thank you for accepting it.
Sir, I'm not
No, so
accepting.
Harish,
Come
yeah,
on,
quickly.
don't twist the fact. Sir, he is twisting the facts. I want to categorically
I
deny
am not.
whatever the allegations. I'm saying that they were been there in the government for 12 years. If the DMK 5 years government is there with all kind of corruption charges which they are leveling against for the last 5 years, I want to put them on straight to the point. Why didn't they unearth
Harish.
each and every account? Because they want to use the IT, ED, CBI only for
The
doing the
DVSC
political
is with you,
vendetta politics.
sir. What is this? The DVSC is with you. When we write a letter, ED writes a letter to government of Tamil Nadu. He says, no, why should you come with through governor? So you are rejecting the ED's request to prosecute Mr. Sendil Balaji. And now you are saying that what you are doing, you don't allow the central government to come in there. That is the problem. You allow these agencies to come in. You accept
the ambiguity,
when Sendil Balaji himself accepted that he has taken a bribe in the open court. You know that. Will you not agree?
Sir.
So,
You have been given a clean sheet
sir,
by
in the court
the Honorable High Court and the Supreme
come
Court.
on.
Okay.
In the transport scam.
One at a time. This has gone much beyond the national song debate, but I don't mind. I don't mind. Go ahead.
In transport scam, Mr. Sendil Balaji went to the court and accepted, yes, we took bribe, but we gave it back. And if the court said, see, it is not the question of how much money you take. You have accepted. So you have to be punished. In that case only, the ED has written to the government that because he was an ex-minister, the ED requested the government to prosecute him, which they refused. Now it is in the ball is in Vijay's court, Mr. Vijay's court. Because the new government has received a letter which Mr. Vijay has to answer.
So, Mr. Muralidharan, will the TVK walk the talk? You know, I raised several issues already about the new cabinet, including allegations of corruption, including allegations of criminal record against ministers. You know, all of that you say Vijay didn't promise on, and now they'll have a clean slate. But there are also questions about whether Chief Minister Vijay will take a similar stand as the DMK on central agencies' investigations.
That's what going to happen, Akshita. See, that's why these people are rattled. Because today, in fact, the key man who was part of Sendil Balaji in a 350 crore transformer scan has been unseated. He's been suspended by the electricity minister, Mr. Nirmal Kumar. So that shows, where it's leading. And already the ED has...
No, but, and Mr. Muralidharan, we're just going to fix your audio before we come back to you. I'll bring in Harish once again on this. Harish, you know what happens, and the reason it moved into corruption, etc., which is not what we started off with, is because inevitably there are questions being asked about whether really this should be the priority. If the opposition DMK is going to be raising issues like, protocol being followed, is that to go ahead and question the TVK for the sake of questioning them?
It is not for sake of questioning. The state autonomy and the statehood is the primary fundamental core principles of the DMK, where it is founded for what it is founded for. So elevating from asking these kind of trivial questions, which is relevance to the Tamil statehoods, Tamil identity matters a lot for the DMK, and it is their core ideology. So how come you can say that each and everything which is coming up stating that if that is the matter, I'm asking the simple question again, because the PM presided functions in West Bengal didn't have the Vande Mataram as the first point.
Let me flip this around. Let me flip this around. Months ago, when you had the new governor Arlekar taking over, and at that point, Stalin was still the chief minister, the songs played in exactly the same order, Harish. You had the national song, you had the national anthem, and then you had the Tamil anthem.
No. You should correct your thing. You put your record straight. But at that point of time, there has been nothing has been taken care of. because that is not in our parliament, because the government, which has been an incumbent government, which has been taken care by the Election Commission of India at that point of time.
No, so what would you like? So what would you like the TVK to do here? Do you want them to change the protocol?
No, we are not saying that. At least you should have the protest which is in your blood. The Tamil blood has to be there. Tamil identity, pride has to be there.
So the song played.
No, that is not the order. That is not the order, Akshita. If that is the place, why it didn't been sung in West Bengal? Because the same linguistic pride, the linguistic culture have been there prevailing.
No, but there's also pride of being part of India, no? There's also that pride of being a part.
We are not denying that.
Yeah,
we are not denying that. No,
so as a nationalist,
No, I am more patriotic than you. So don't
How do you know that, sir? No, let's. I don't know who's going to give you a certificate versus me.
No, you don't certificate to all the Tamilians over here.
I'm not giving any certificate, sir. Come on. No, let's not go into that, please. I'm not giving you any certificate or anyone else. I'm only asking you a question. If asking you a question is questioning someone's faith, I don't.
We have a Tamil culture, Tamil identity presided, number one. Number two, we will be prevailing as a statehood rather than we are a proud Indian. There is no second thought about it. So don't bring all these kind of divisiveness. Even it is a simple thing.
No, I will ask the question. I will ask the question. I'm sorry, Harish. It's a simple question to ask. What is wrong with the national song playing first? There is nothing wrong with that question. It's a valid question.
I'm still repeating. What is wrong in a rule of the land which the Tamil community singing?
So the Tamil anthem is playing, yes?
Tamil anthem on the first spot. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with that? Sorry.
Ankita,
what is wrong with that?
First we are Indians, then Tamilians. So in that order, it is very simple.
Sir, come on.
Harish, then do you buy what Mr. Tirupati says? We're first Indians, then we're Tamilians.
I'll give you straight away.
Let me finish.
Okay, let Mr. Tirupati finish. Harish, I'll come back to you. Let Mr. Tirupati finish.
Okay, please. He spoke in a very detailed manner. I just spoke a few words.
Sure, sir.
See, he's talking about West Bengal. In West Bengal, this taking the central government's cue, the West Bengal government has made it compulsory, mandatory in all schools and even in madrasas. So it is happening in West Bengal. Will Harish request the same in Tamil Nadu also? You are comparing with West Bengal.
Harish.
So you let DMK come with the resolution.
I'm running out of time. Harish, quickly your response.
We will do that, sir. So whatever
Take it, Ankita, we will do
it.
The DMK
wants Vande Mataram song, we will do that. No matter what religion follows, what religion. I'm an atheist. You can't go ahead and paint me as a Muslim and you can ask me that kind of
thing. No, none of that is happening, Harish.
This is bad. Don't be communal.
Stick to the point.
Now
then why are you bringing madrasas as if I will have a different opinion?
No, he said schools also.
Schools also.
He said schools also, Harish. Okay, overall. I don't want to make this communal. Gentlemen, hold on. I don't want to allow this to become communal at all. That's not something we'll allow here. So I don't want to get into religion. Simple, Harish. Simple, Harish. My final question to you. Will you accept if protocol suggests that the national song should play first? If states like Bengal, you're right. If states like Bengal also follow it.
If you
then
have
yes, in Tamil Nadu.
Entire India follows it, then there should be a consensus whether we have a president should be given to the state anthem or not. That should be debatable. Bring the consensus and do that. No one is going to question about that.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I've run out of time completely. Thank you very much for joining me. So huge controversy that played out over Vande Mataram. Ultimately, you will see essentially that while all of this continues, what we'll focus on is really how the TVK performs as a government. That should be the core issue. That should be the number one political talking point, even from the opposition. That's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Feels like summer Carlyle. It's the way you make me feel.
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
Like I said before, we better own the sins. Like I said before, we better own the sins.
Every story finds a place. Every voice gets a platform. Every side has its say. Your channel for every headline. Prime Team on India Today, India's only democratic newsroom.
The temporary arrangement is dependent on the sunlight. They get water once they have sun. If they don't have sun or the sunlight for the day, they don't get water. And this problem has been sustaining since 40 years.
में एनटीए को सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आदेश कारण एनटीए बनी है। एनटीए हर एक साल 1 करोड़ बच्चों की एग्जामिनेशन कराती है अमूमन। एनटीए और निर्भुल हो, एनटीए में जीरो एरर हो, ये हमारी दायित्व है और भारत की व्यवस्था उसको करके रहेगी। इसलिए हम ओपन माइंड पे इस परीक्षा को भी जा रहे हैं। मित्रों, मैं फिर आपको आश्वस्त करता हूँ, विशेष करके विद्यार्थियों को मैं फिर एक बार अपील करना चाहता हूँ, कोई भी अफवाह में ना जाए, कोई भी, आखिर सामाजिक चुनौती है। राधाकृष्णन कमेटी को पूरा पालन करने के उपरांत भी उस कमांड चेन में कहीं ना कहीं ब्रीच हुई है, इसको हम स्वीकार करते हैं। इसकी सुधारने का जिम्मेवारी हम लेते हैं, बिल्कुल सुधारने का हम जिम्मेवारी लेते हैं। और मैं समाज की सभी वर्गों को अपील करना चाहता हूं, ऐसा नहीं कि हम आस पड़ोस में जो माफिया घूमते हैं हमें पता नहीं है। एक सामाजिक व्याधि है, एक सामाजिक व्याधि में सभी सोशल इविल है। इस व्याधि से हमको समाज को मुक्त करना पड़ेगा। मैं आप सभी के सहयोग चाहता हूं, देशवासियों का सहयोग चाहता हूं, नीति निर्धारकों का सहयोग चाहता हूं, राज्य सरकारों का सहयोग चाहता हूं। देश की बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए हमें एक निर्भुल परीक्षा, परिष्कार परीक्षा, स्वच्छ परीक्षा के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। मेरे ओर से इतना उल्लेख करना था।
Dear Prime Minister, thank you very much again for being here. This visit of yours is an honor for us and opens a new page in the relations with our countries. It's not going to be the last one in this long book that you are writing together with resolution, doing our work in the best possible way. There is an Indian word which states that very well, which is parishram. Parishram, which means hard work, constant commitment, fatigue, a word which I know is very often used in India, and it is often used in a very popular way of saying parishram hi sa falta ki kunjiai, which means tough work is the key to success, and we are used to build our relations in this way, with a hard work which becomes success at the end. Thank you very much.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
A day before the US President Donald Trump was to arrive in Beijing, Claire Lai, the daughter of jailed Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai, urged the American president to intervene leader to leader to secure her father's freedom. That very same day, Taiwan President Lai Ching-te expressed his thanks to the US for its help in strengthening the island's defenses and said Taipei would not give in to pressure. The US president had a different agenda. In his social media post, he announced that the President of America intended to ask his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping to open up China for greater business, as CEOs from several major US companies accompanied him on the visit. The world expected him to discuss the impasse at the Strait of Hormuz and the Iran war.
I have a great relationship with President Xi, and I think it's going to remain that way. We have a lot of things to discuss. I wouldn't say Iran is one of them, to be honest with you, because we have Iran very much under control.
I think his visit to China is definitely about reaching some kind of consensus, and honestly, the US economy has been going downhill. It's been declining, so I think he's coming here because he wants things to move in a better direction. He's not trustworthy. He's like, what, 80 years old now? He's quite old. He sure loves to stir things up. He's always getting into conflicts with other countries and stuff. Honestly, I have a really bad impression of him.
Once in China, the two leaders met, shook hands and smiled. Displayed perfect bonhomie. The Chinese premier welcomed his American counterpart and his delegation with a ceremony featuring a 21-gun salute at Tiananmen Square. Senior White House staff, cabinet secretaries and accompanying corporate CEOs were repeatedly seen pulling out their personal smartphones to film the sweeping vistas of Tiananmen Square. While the US president kept his composure, his team visibly displayed their amazement at the pomp and grandeur of one of the world's ancient civilizations.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of the Democratic Newsroom. We have a new moot point today. Well, the Chief Justice of India made a comment. He said he was misconstrued. But at the back of it was born the Cockroach Janta Party. And within a span of just a few days, at least on Instagram and where social media is concerned, it's taken over the number of followers then the biggest political party in the world, the Bharatiya Janata Party. Everyone's a tad bit shocked. Is the CJP, the Cockroach Janta Party, just a social media fad, or could it actually pose a real threat? And is there a Gen Z vote in this country to take? Well, let's open the debate. We have a packed house, but we're going to quickly bring in, but let me quickly introduce our panelists this evening. I have with me Sonal, Mr. Raj Chengappa, I have Tanisha, I have our Gen Z, Jessica as well, and we have Rajdeep Sardesai. Rajdeep, you want to open the debate?
Well, what's the question? What's the question?
The question, Rajdeep, is CJP, the Cockroach Janta Party, a real threat or a social media fad? Is there a vote of the Gen Z to take in this country?
See, I think these are two separate questions. There is, I believe, a Gen Z vote definitely in this country. We saw it in Tamil Nadu. You could see the excitement, visible excitement in that age group between 18 and 21 or 18 and 25 when they supported the actor turned politician Vijay. So there is a Gen Z vote. There is a Yuva vote, let me call it. I don't want to divide between Gen Z, millennials. I get confused myself. But is the Cockroach Janta Party a representative of this Gen Z angst? I think the jury is out on that one. I'm very a little skeptical of sometimes what happens on social media. You can manage trends at times. Are they fully organic? I don't really know. All I know is cockroaches are great survivors. Let's be very clear. Cockroach को अगर आप एक cockroach मारोगे तो 10 cockroach बाहर आ जाते हैं. So I like the cockroach analogy that has come in because I've always believed journalists should be cockroaches. Why? Because if there is a nuclear explosion across the world, everything will be destroyed. The cockroach will survive because next morning he has to report to the world that there was a nuclear explosion. So cockroaches are great survivors. But being survivors doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to create a movement which will translate into something like what we saw in Nepal, which turned into a huge political movement. So let's enjoy it. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I love it that young people are expressing their angst, their dissent, their creativity through this Cockroach Janta Party. I'm too old to perhaps join the Cockroach Janta Party, but I am a cockroach. That much I can promise you. I don't want to be a butterfly. I'm happiest when I'm a cockroach watching what's happening around me. And if people try to crush me, I will survive and revive.
Well, you know, it's already happening in the social media space because at least on Twitter, the handle of Cockroach Janta Party was taken down and suddenly a new handle has cropped up, which has now an equal number of followers than the one that was taken down. So, you know, some would think it's the Streisand effect that you try and suppress something, it will only become all the more popular. But I want to bring in Raj Chengappa. Raj Chengappa, you have seen enough political parties come on the horizon. Some thrive, some just a flash in the pan and gone. When you look at the CJP, the Cockroach Janta Party, it resonates with the youth. It resonates with the underdog. It does find, and the sheer fact, you know, to go and grow at the speed that you have on Instagram is mind-boggling.
Yes, I'd agree that we should not take it lightly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Any youth movement now, I think, has to be recognized as something of a force. Since Rajdeep had mentioned Vijay in Tamil Nadu, let's look at what happened over there. Here again, two established parties get knocked out by this person who comes just about 24 months earlier. If you talk to Pradeep and others who actually predicted his victory, then you'd find that he estimates that the electorate between 18 and 40 is 40% of the total electorate, and the rest is 50% on the other side. And out of that 40%, Vijay gets 50%. So he's starting with 20% lead. Along with that, very interestingly, is their ability to influence their parents. If you ask a lot of people there, and I have my brothers there as well, is they say, they tell their parents, you need to vote for this person. So there is a change because over a period of time, we have become, the 40s and above have become disillusioned with what has happened. And just a quick thing about what's happened in Nepal, Sri Lanka, and in Bangladesh. They could have some bearings that's there, but clearly a couple of things happened in those places. Of course, Nepal triggered because of social media suppression, but then moved on to all the other big grievances were there. Lanka, you saw there was a huge problem of inflation, lack of jobs. That in Bangladesh, some of the same problems happened. So we do have, in some senses, the building of that. And I think we should take a look at Vijay not just as a phenomenon, as a film star, but someone where we now need to look at youth very closely as a vote bank, because given the economic crisis that we are facing, the brunt of that crisis is going to be faced by the youth, and they can then turn around.
But even when you look at data, Raj, you can go back to 2024 elections, and youth was usually considered anti-establishment, and that mirrored at least in the kind of vote that the Congress got. Because if you break it down, then it was the younger lot that voted for the Congress in 2024, which maybe propelled it to the 100 seat there. So the youth is looking for an option, but here I would think it's a double-edged sword, because the youth is not looking at the Congress. This, if the BJP needs to be worried by a social movement, right now it is limited to a social movement like the CJP, then so does the Congress, the principal opposition, because they're clearly not looking at the Congress. They're looking at something completely brand new.
Well, that's where established parties have to look at it. Just a quick point. I know you must bring the others in. In Sri Lanka, it was not that the youth came to power. They created the revolt, and someone else emerged out of it. Right?
Anna movement. The Anna movement,
in Sri Lanka, in Sri Lanka, Dissanayaka and others, they formed a party of their own.
They created an atmosphere, and
they
which
took
gave
power. It was not like the youth got into power. They just dissolved.
I'm going to get into Sonal and Jessica as well, but I want to bring in, for someone who manages our entire social media and heads it, Tanisha is with us. Tanisha, when you look at Vijay and you look at a TVK, without giving a single interview, right? Zero. No, he didn't speak to anybody. It was largely a campaign that was run on social media, and it spread like fire, and the kind of support he got. So when you are looking at numbers, where in just about a couple of days, this party has gone from scratch and overtaken the number of followers from the Bharatiya Janta Party, it's fascinating at a level, and how quickly it's grown.
Yeah, so I think there are two ways of looking at it. Number one, I do think that, of course, the Gen Z has a voice, and a very strong voice on social media. One is that this movement has happened on social media, where Gen Z coexists with everybody, right? It's not on stage. So they're taking it from staged online. That's what happened in Vijay's case as well. The second is that they're using social media, sarcasm and humor to both protest and cope with, the issues that they're facing, that the country is facing: inflation, joblessness, all of that. The frustration, they are taking it out, it's basically moving from, they're not marching, they're memeing. Right? That's how things are moving. Even for Vijay's campaign, I think a lot of them were just, very interesting memes that got people going, sharing content here and there and all of that. So I think the entire atmosphere of how things are
Is the growth organic? Because a lot of people are saying,
absolutely organic.
You're saying it's organic?
It's absolutely organic. Because it's absolutely organic.
Okay, that's then...
Yeah, but having said that, it's so much easier to just...
And most followers are from where?
Let's also not forget that the membership criteria for this party is that, are you bored, are you jobless, are you online, and it's
are you
lazy. And it's scary to think that so many people thought that it was, something they resonated with.
But, and you're saying it's organic, and most of the followers come from where?
They're all Gen Z. They're all frustrated. They're all lazy. They're all bored, and they're all lazy.
All right. Okay. Sonal, you've been tracking the emergence of the CJP, the Cockroach Janta Party.
6 ही दिन हुए हैं.
6 ही दिन हुए हैं, but in 6 ही दिन में, it's the trajectory is quite amazing, quite mind-boggling. You also spoke to the founder.
Yes, I spoke to the founder and I asked him exactly these questions. Right, like every time there's a conversation on a new party or a young party, people say, online है, trend आगे नहीं आएगा, vote में translate नहीं होगा. They'll come on streets, but they'll only make memes and they'll make their reels and they'll go back. But it's not true. I think something is changing, not just in India, but in our entire ecosystem. Yes, Nepal, yes, Bangladesh, yes, Sri Lanka, but look at the cases that are really triggering young people. It's NEET, it's Agnipath, it's all these cases that has really got people on the streets. Pollution has got people on the streets to say, guys, will somebody please speak for us? And, let's be mindful of the fact, we keep thinking Gen Z is very young. Gen Z today is 29. They have paid their taxes. They are paying their rents. They are not getting jobs. They are angry and upset, and they're saying, boss, I have grown up and I've had enough of them. So I think something is happening here with the Cockroach Janta Party. It's not that they don't turn up on voting booths and vote. It's not that the turnout is low. Their options are low.
No, fair
They
point.
don't
I
have,
think
every time you give them an option in Nepal, in Tamil Nadu, in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, they vote
and it also
and they make their voice heard.
And it also shows because at least the Gen Z that we speak of is rather jaded with the political options that they have. So what I said earlier, if the incumbent needs to be a tad bit worried with the kind of growth that the CJP has got, the opposition needs to be worried more because somebody's taking their space from them. Okay, now in all this whole lot, we only have one Gen Z, and that is Jessica.
Proud representative.
Yeah, she a proud representative of the Gen Z generation. So, Jessica, how are you? And the other Gen Zs, are they cockroaches yet?
Yes, definitely. One of the taglines is "Gutter banaoge to cockroach hi paida hoga." So that is how the Cockroach Janta Party, that is how they're equating the world right now. They're saying that it's a gutter, it's all gone to the rags, and we need to reclaim our space. Nobody is talking about us right now. We are not part of the conversation. It's all the usual politics, and so they're trying to get attention towards all of these issues. They are a force for good in a way, like you would.
Okay, what attracts you to CJP? Have you joined the party? Like have you followed it?
Yes, I have joined the party, and
I have. So which one are you? Are you lazy? You're not unemployed for sure?
No, I'm not unemployed. I'm sitting here. Gen Z, people say Gen Z is lazy and in a very negative way, but then we have brought about these trends which are like the quiet quitting and all of these trends which are also born from, I can see it from a lot of your faces, you don't quite understand what I'm talking about.
No, I understand. We understand. Yeah.
Offended.
I have two Gen Zs still, so it's okay. So I can't be surprised. Let's put it that way.
It's always these terms, they're trying to reclaim these terms as well by,
Okay, tell me something, Jessica, and I'll bring in Rajdeep. Well, as somebody who follows the Cockroach Janta Party, do you want it to be a social pressure group, or you want this party to become a political party and fight the elections?
Right now, I would want it to be a social pressure group and not a political party, because as we've been talking about when one enters into a political space, it becomes a very murky ground. You don't really... we have seen this right now with Raghav Chadha. He was so popular, and now he's, switched parties. A lot of Gen Z was following Raghav Chadha, and they don't like this. Like, you've been, propagating something for so long, and now you're saying something completely, entirely different. I don't know if we can keep...
No, we can keep everything. Go ahead.
But that is something which is also the grouse of the Gen Z, right? Like, when you're saying something and you don't walk the talk. So that is one of the grouse for the Gen Z. And I don't know how this will play out.
So what is it? Okay, Rajdeep, so what Jessica also told us the minute she came in is that why I like the Cockroach Janta Party. See, they're cleaning the Yamuna. They're not just sitting and talking about it.
Yeah, so a lot of people, this is not the CJP itself cleaning the Yamuna. A lot of people who associate
are doing it. Exactly.
Yeah, so they are doing all of these good tasks and tasks which, things that people wouldn't generally talk of. We don't see political parties.
Let me bring in Rajdeep.
I'm all for CJP, but that's just for a reel, yaar. I'm all for it, but come on.
True.
Come on, that's just a reel. I passed through Yamuna today. It's not clean. Nobody was there.
It's not the effort. Okay, let me bring in Rajdeep
back. It's a statement at max.
Okay, fair point. I want to bring in Rajdeep back into this conversation. Rajdeep, with what also Jessica just elucidated, it just shows that the Gen Z today has zero patience for old school, stereotypical politics. They just have no space for that anymore.
No, it doesn't. But you see, the truth is that they have to also, their attention spans are sometimes consumed in one reel. I'm not trying to talk down to them. But the fact is that, I sit on a flight, next to me is someone from Gen Z, and she's furiously scrolling down her mobile to see what's the next reel. Now, you have to move from reel to the road. In Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, the fact is, ultimately, there is no substitute for taking your anger out in more concrete terms. And let's be honest, there are Gen Zs and there are Gen Zs. There are Gen Zs who suffer because of paper leaks. There are Gen Zs who suffer because examination results are not declared on time. There are Gen Zs who suffer because they see corruption around them. They feel that there are no jobs for them. So their concerns are very different. Some other Gen Z may be worried about pollution, about Yamuna. So I don't believe that there is one unified Gen Z vote out there.
What I do believe is that at the end of the day, you're going to at some stage have to move from being social media entertainment to doing the real thing. We're all enjoying it at the moment. As I said, I love the creativity. I love the fact that they are pouring their angst out in the way they are, and actually discomforting and inconvenient and asking some inconvenient questions that we in mainstream media don't. I like that. I like people who dissent. India needs an anti-establishment voice. And I think the CJI unfortunately got it terribly wrong. I mean, the way he put it, it was going to...
So he says he was misconstrued, but that's too late. The ship has sailed.
What the CJI said, he can say what he wants. He can say what he wants. He represented...
It is not just...
Okay,
he represented an old style...
Okay, yeah, Rajdeep, quickly make your point.
No, I'm just saying that... Yeah, I'm just saying there's always been space for anyone who's anti-establishment in this country. But you've got to then be willing to stay the course and do more than
but
just,
what is staying the course? Is it to continue being a social media pressure group where you keep picking up issues on social media, or do you get your hands dirty?
I said, will you fight 2029 elections?
What did he say?
Okay, he said...
Sure.
And he has experience, remember. He's been part of a social experiment when he called Aam Aadmi Party earlier. And he left it, seems a little disgruntled about it, and said that one of the reasons that I joined that party was health and was environment issues and education issues, but they didn't seem to go in another direction, so I parted ways. So he has experience. He seems to be thinking about it, but he was measured. He said, I'm thinking about I'm going to ask people, and if they want, we will become a political party. So this is not to be rubbished so easily and so early.
I would just make a couple of points. One, we always think of Gen Z as the one that is creating the entire...
True, Rajdeep.
Yeah, Gen Z is the one that is creating the entire movement. If you look at the ages of prime ministers, right, I think Rajiv Gandhi, if I was not mistaken, was 40 when he became prime minister, the youngest prime minister. And this is 84. Take a look at Benazir Bhutto across that side. She was 35. So it's not unusual for young to sort of create an impact, and we think this is just happening now. I think what you're seeing now is and every single political party, that's why, has to take note of it, because there is what would, let's say, a cocktail of factors that could create this to bubble up even further, because you do have issues that concern Gen Z, right? We know that this crisis that is on us, the oil shocks that's there, is going to impact jobs. It's going to cause inflation. Who's hurt the most in each of these things? It's the people that are looking out for jobs that's there. And so, therefore, we've seen in other countries, not that it could happen in India. I think the BJP has been extremely smart. If you look at Mr. Modi, he's adopted social media right from the time he emerged in 2012, long before everybody else knew the value. The BJP is a master at using all the WhatsApps and everything, as we saw in recent elections. So they are savvy. But at the end of the day, I think you have to meet the requirements that youth want, which is, and that is that large group, that they feel frustrated and they need to get...
Even though they're young, but they seem to be very jaded with the system. Okay, you wanted to come in.
No, so I just want to say, I agree with Rajdeep, sir, that a lot of times on social media, trends, they come up and then they as quickly fade away, right?
True.
So I think that's something that unless it translates into on-ground reality, it's going to sort of vanish. I mean, we're going to find out very soon, was this real political fire, or is it just, we're just enjoying the vibe for now, right? We don't know. The second thing I want to say is that these platforms are third-party platforms, right? One change in algorithm, one ban on an account or any such violation means that everything could vanish overnight. So you can't own a rented house. That's something to remember. Have to move beyond social media to make a real difference.
You wanted to come in.
No, I just want to say, let's be clear. I think these guys also, the CJP also is very clear that this is just the beginning. I don't think they want a house in here. I don't think they want to rent it either. I think they want to use this platform and make something bigger out of it. And I do want to say this. I don't think the Gen Z really resonates with any of the existing political parties. I think the reason a new establishment is required as a need, as an oxygen for them at the moment, is because they want a fresh start. They are done with these old ones.
That's what we said.
But the BJP old leaders can make it happen with Gen Z anymore. I don't think they cut it with Gen Z anymore.
The three examples that happened recently, let's look at Sri Lanka. The Gen Z disappears, and you've got a regular party that is there that is taken over from the two established parties. Right. It is formed a third front, but is pushed together through various.
It created a...
Go back to Bangladesh, where again you've had a revolt of sorts, but you get the BNP back. Tariq Rahman is, in his 60s. It's not like he's young. The only place where you can look at an example is Balen Shah at 36.
But then, Raj,
so I'm saying
why look there? Look at Tamil Nadu.
Tamil
Look
Nadu
at
again.
Vijay.
Yeah, but Vijay's 50.
Look at TVK.
No,
Right.
Vijay's 50. He's not like a Gen Z guy.
He's as Gen Z as the
age,
rest.
guys. Come on, you're getting it so wrong. It's not the age. Stop
the idea. It's the idea.
It's the
I am
idea
saying
of an
that
alternative.
for them, they want a certain appeal that is there. But let's look at Vijay. He doesn't just thrive because he has built a brand through films. He's not a Johnny-come-lately when it comes to knowledge, right?
It's the idea. It's the idea.
He's an alternative.
Okay, it's okay. So I want to bring in. I'll give you the final word, Jessica.
We're talking a lot about Vijay, and I was also on ground and in Tamil Nadu, in Madurai, in all of these places. One thing that is common even there is there's a generational divide between how people are voting. All the young and in a single household, all the fathers, grandfathers, all the parents may be voting for DMK, IDMK, but all the younger children and women, they were voting for TVK. So they were all looking for a face probably who's not already there, a part of the conversation. So that is completely true, that there is no alternative right
True.
now.
Well, right now, you're right. Now, there is no alternative, and there's a desperate search of that alternative, search of political hope. But hope, can also quickly turn into frustration. And it can push you up like it has in the form of the Cockroach Janta Party, where you start off from nothing and you're already millions of followers, more than BJP. But as quickly as it propels you, it pulls you down as quickly as well if you don't deliver.
Yeah,
so
but
that's frustration.
I think they're saying apna time aayega.
All right, we're going to be...
I think they're saying
that's
that.
all the time that we have now. We're going to quickly wrap. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. And we're going to leave it for our viewers. It's going to be interesting. Let's see and watch. Does it fade with time? Was it just a social media experiment, or will it be a real political threat? We'll see. Thank you for joining us.
सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
Like I said before, we better own the sins. Like I said before, we better own the sins.
Character, the taste of success.
French perfumes by Choban, a fragrance that lasts longer than 10 hours. So I can be myself a little more. French perfumes by Choban, for him and her.
Like a dream come true, you make me rise with you. In the sky of our own, feels like gravity is gone.
Feels like summer. Monte Carlo.
It's the way you make me feel.
The action never stops, and neither do we. From breaking updates to match analysis, from big moments to bigger conversation. This is where sports comes alive. Fast, sharp, unfiltered. For the fans who want every update, every story, every headline first. Welcome to Sports Today, your destination for everything sports. Press that bell icon and subscribe now.
plight of LPG shortage has now pushed citizens out of their homes. In UP's Gorakhpur, people have been compelled to spend their nights out on the streets, sleeping in queues to procure a gas cylinder. Families are spending nights on the roadside, guarding empty cylinders like valuables, terrified of losing their spot in the line. People in queues say they have been doing this for multiple days and have still returned home empty-handed.
ये सारी हर महीने यही मतलब है, इसी तरह जाम लग रहा है, गैस नहीं मिल रहा है, हम लोग आने पे 3 दिन 4 दिन मतलब वापसी हो जा रहा है। अब पता नहीं क्या आज मिल जाएगा कि नहीं मिलेगा, ये तो कोई ठीक नहीं।
हम 5 बजे से लाइन में लगे हैं, समस्या यही है कि हम 5 बार आ गए मगर मिला नहीं है।
While authorities insist there is no crisis, residents are questioning the claim.
बहुत दिक्कत होता है। तो कैसे खाना ना बन रहा है? खाना कैसे बन रहा है? खाना बना लकड़ी पर तो आँख में धुआं जाता है, आँख दर्द करने लगता है, सारा पानी गिरता है आँख से।
Amid scorching heat, under swarms of mosquitoes, inadequate supply of gas is forcing many to stand in queues for hours on end. With Gajendra Tripathi, Bureau Report, India Today.